this
Wavesfactory
versus this.
Wavesfactory.
Which one of these is not like the other, and why? Today, on Exploring Limitations, I'm going to show you how to take the Wavesfactory Cassette plugin and turn it into spacey tape delay. Here we go. At the end of last week's video on how to make tape delay sounds with stock plugins in Logic, I showed you a Wavesfactory Cassette little chain. I just gave you a little teaser. Well, today we're going to be opening up the hood on that Wavesfactory Cassette plugin a little bit, and I'm going to show you how to make weird sounds that they didn't intend to make with it, because this is Exploring Limitations, and that is what we do. Again, I have no affiliation with Wavesfactory at all. They seem like very cool people. They're very nice. I really like their plugin. You know how you can tell that I'm not affiliated with them? Their plugin, their newest one, is called Echo Cat. It emulates a awesome old funky tape delay from back in the day, and I'm not talking about that today. I'm sure it's sweet, but I bought the cassette plugin, so let's talk about that. For all you analog lovers out there, don't worry, more analog content coming, but right now, let's go into Logic. So here we are, going off of the tune that was, just bass and drums from 2 weeks ago. I added a lead vocal, background vocal parts, and a little bit of a synth part, and I'm just going to play this for you right now. It has a bunch of the Wavesfactory Cassette and buses as a tape delay, and I'll show you what that sounds like.
Wavesfactory. Wavesfactory Cassette rocks.
Okay, so that's with everything on. Well, let me turn off all of the Wavesfactory Cassette used as tape delay plugins, just so you can hear what this mix sounds like naked.
Wavesfactory. Wavesfactory Cassette rocks.
So pretty naked, pretty stark difference. Let me go ahead and turn those back on, and we're gonna break down exactly what I did. Now last week, if you remember the chain, it started with an echo, just the stock plugin echo. The reason I like this echo more is because it's more tweakable. I have it on a very, very fast echo at the moment, no feedback. But what I like about it is you can really adjust what they call the feel or the groove, and that really affects how our feedback loop swings and does stuff. Let me tweak those knobs.
Wavesfactory. Wavesfactory Cassette rocks.
That's pretty cool. That's why I prefer this plugin to Logic's stock plugin. Next in the chain is the cassette plugin, and unlike last week where I also had like an overdrive plugin, the cassette plugin has basically a built-in drive, which is this knob. And the genius of this knob is that as you increase the drive, it actually adjusts the volume. It doesn't increase the volume coming out.
Wavesfactory. Wavesfactory Cassette rocks.
Sick. And then the next thing on the chain is a Neve preamp, but I'm not really using the preamp for gain or anything like that. I'm just using the EQ. And just like last week, I'm pulling down the highs and then high passing. And then the last thing on the chain is the handy dandy limiter. That's just so our delay sounds don't get out of hand. So those are the plugins, and as you can see, I'm feeding that whole chain back into itself, and that's how you get a feedback loop, which is what you would get on one of these machines when you're creating tape delay. It's the feedback that gives us the repeats. Otherwise, it's just an echo. Right now, I just want you to hear how quickly, how easily you can affect the sound of your tape delay sound just by changing the cassette type, which again, if you haven't seen my video on cassette types, I highly recommend that. If you don't know what cassette types even means, please go watch that. It's basically the formula that the magnetic tape is made of has a drastic difference in the sound. So right now we are, what is this, a type 1 cassette? Yeah. So let's listen.
Wavesfactory.
All right, let's go to type 2.
Wavesfactory.
Already, do you hear how much brighter type 2 is? Which it should be. Now let's go to type 3.
Wavesfactory. Wavesfactory.
Let's go to type 4.
Wavesfactory. Wavesfactory.
I mean, how cool is that? Between type 1, type 2, type 3, which is a rare cassette type that no one has, and type 4, you're already getting a drastic EQ thing happening just by that one little click of the button. Okay, you just heard the difference in the types of cassettes. So we're back on type 1. Now let's toggle between what they call their deck type. This Pro setting is supposed to be emulating a Tascam 414, which is a nicer version of the Porta Studio that I have. And the Micro setting is supposed to be something called an Omega Reporter 20 hand recorder. And the home setting, they say, is a blend of the two, which I didn't realize when I made that video that I made back in the day. So let's hear the Pro setting.
Wavesfactory.
Home setting.
Wavesfactory.
Micro.
Wavesfactory. Wavesfactory.
Man, see, it's so cool. They did such a good job. Obviously, just from an artist and a music standpoint, you know, you're hearing a huge EQ thing, but it's not just EQ. It's way more subtle. They're emulating so much of the complexities. And again, you can open up the hood and really tweak things in here. So that crushed presetting was pretty cool. I'm going to show you what's going on with the synth right here. Now, in case you didn't know, it is a pretty common mixing technique to pan something, especially a chordal instrument, all the way hard on one side and throw some kind of delay all the way on the other side, and that's what I've done here. And I gave it its own delay setting. Let's open up that cassette, and what do I have? Yeah. So it's on, they call it the chorusy setting. Let's solo that. It sounds like it's flanging or chorusing, right? The way they achieve that is just by using the mix knob, you know, and this is what they even say in the manual. If you let me throw the mix all the way to 100 so you can hear just what it sounds like. Pull her down. You know, there's no chorus on that synth sound. Very interesting. They obviously, in this factory preset, they had a pretty extreme detuning happening. So, man, they really thought of a lot of things. And in this plugin, it's more than just a cassette emulator. I mean, I can get flanging and chorusing effects with this plugin, and especially if you don't want it to be extreme, you can pull a lot of these other settings down. pretty cool. Let's move on to what's going on with the backup vocals. Real quick, one of my favorite techniques to do with backup vocals, if I have to do it myself, is to just record 8 takes of myself and then, pan them in fun ways. There's more to it than that, but that's a different lesson for a different day. So here we go. What do we got? What factory preset did I fall on with this? It's called Insight Drifter. Let's hear the background vocals. I gave him a little bit of slap back. So here, turn off the tape delay for a second. Dry as pie. Back on. That's also a fun way to thicken up any vocal sound, any sound, is just to give it a little bit of slap back. That's why in the context, out of all the delay sounds in this mix, that one is the most quick.
Wavesfactory.
Now, before I leave the Logic screen recording, I just want to show you again how I like to use tape delay in a mix. Because as you can hear, especially the lead vocal part, there's something dynamic happens. So I created a track for the bus, and I automated these moves. So you listen to this again when I play it back and hear the automation and what it's doing with the cassette plugin.
Wavesfactory. Wavesfactory Cassette rocks.
Pretty neat, huh? Well, back to you, other made on tape man. So there you have it. Some of you might be wondering why I'm so obsessed with tape delay and emulating tape delay. And truth be told, there's 2 reasons. 1, I don't really know. And 2, it's because I like it. But seriously, I think the reason I like it is because whether you're working with physical machines or really, really, really good emulations, tape adds a very organic human element to an effect, because these machines, mechanical or if they're well emulated, are not perfect, and they flutter and they do funny things. And that's what I love about music. That's what I love about art. I love humanity. I love unpredictability. I don't like things that are perfect. That's the whole point of this channel is to try to show that you can make the best thing that you want to make with the tools you have available. That is why this is called Exploring Limitations. Remember to go check out my video on tape delay using this reel-to-reel to really get the understanding and the grasp of what this whole sound is based on. And also head over to madeontape.bandcamp.com if you'd like to hear some music created on this Tascam Porta Studio and bounced or mixed down to the reel-to-reel. I know we've been in the box the last few episodes, but I've made a lot of music not in the box. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, I might not be able to address them, but please leave them below in the you-know-where comments section. We'll be in touch. I'm pretty attentive down there, and so I like to answer questions if I can. If I don't know the answer, I'll try to point you in the right direction. With that, as always, peace, and be good to each other. Please. That's it. I'm going to put tape delay on that.